last night on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, it's been definitely a crazy process.
That's good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hometowns Week and Michelle's Final Four, the episode where the tables turn, the men control the dates, and they introduce Michelle to their families. And this time, we truly got one of the most wholesome hometown episodes ever. Each and every time we met a family, it was like,
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die! He's so fluffy!
And first up for Hometowns is Brandon. Now this season, they're going to be staying in Minnesota, and the families will be coming to them. But as Brandon says...
And even though it's called Hometowns, I think today is about my heart. Because home is where the heart is. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's wherever the heart is and the people who make it like that, so...
Doll, what a cutie. Now, before Michelle meets Brandon's family, he'll be leading her on a date that really reflects what life with Brandon, in his hometown, is really like. And apparently, Brandon's a big skater boy with not a lot of skill.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that? You feel good?
Ooh.
I'm embarrassing the out of myself.
Well, after Brandon tends to his scrapes and boo-boos, it's time for Michelle to meet Carmen, David, and Noah, Brandon's family. Which is actually a pretty big deal for Brandon, as his brother Noah was supposed to be going to the Navy at this time, but he delayed doing so just to be there. Now, if you're new to Hometowns, this is always how it works. The family first meets the lead, and then they all sit around talking about how the two met. After that, they split off into individual chats, where Michelle is asked questions like,
Do you really think you could see yourself with my brother for the rest of your life?
and while that is happening, Brandon is asked questions like this.
So what is it about Michelle that has made you to fall like you are for her?
Luckily for Michelle, all those years of parent-teacher conferences have paid off, and she really knows how to handle a sit-down with a parent. I mean, look at how she absolutely tames Brandon's dad, David.
How about fishing? Because if you're going to be a part of the Young family, my dad is a huge fisherman. A huge fisherman.
After that, the rest of the hometown is usually Brandon or Michelle rotating through each family member until the end of the night. The only thing unusual about this hometown is there's not even an inkling of drama. No parents saying they don't trust the process, no one asking about the other dudes, just this.
Actually, I like Michelle. I'm just letting you know.
Yes,
I
there
like
we
Michelle.
go.
And feeling so welcomed by Brandon's family helps Michelle feel comfortable enough to end the night by saying this.
It is very clear to me that I am falling for you.
Wow.
Alright, well, that was really smooth. Let's see how we fare with hometown number 2 and Rodney, who's starting off his hometown, of course, by taking Michelle apple picking. It's like production found Rodney and then turned to Michelle saying,
Do you like apples?
Sorry.
Well, how do you like these apples? All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is that dude?
Is he your boyfriend or something?
No. But he could be yours if you play your cards right.
Well, apparently there's an apple that only grows in Minnesota, and it's called the first kiss. So the two go apple picking, and then it's time for Michelle to put on the blindfold and take her turn at the apple taste testing. After that, Michelle and Rodney move on to meet Carrie and Tyree, Rodney's mom and stepdad. So after introductions are made, it's time again to split off into solo chats, where Rodney sits down with his stepdad and tells him that even though it's only been so long, when you know, you know, and Michelle sits down with Carrie to address whether or not she sees a life with Rodney. Here, we get one of the more typical hometown concerns.
I think Michelle is very genuine, but Rodney has only one person to have feelings for, and she has 4.
So when Carrie sits down with Rodney, she addresses her worry. But Rodney says that with Michelle, it's worth the risk.
And I mean, the scary part for me is like I'm definitely falling in love with this woman. And every single
And although Carrie worries for Rodney, she trusts her son and supports him.
Take care. Bye. Just as Rodney respects that position that she's in, so must I.
So, another hometown ends, and I gotta say, y'all, we've got some top-tier Bachelor moms and dads so far. And don't worry, that trend is going to continue into our third hometown date with Joe. The only person in the last 4 Bachelor seasons who gets to have a really real hometown, as he's from Minneapolis. So, to start their date, Joe is bringing Michelle to Hopkins High, where this time he gets to tour her through his high school experience. Which, like me, was pretty much this.
Biology and everything was on this side of the school, so I tried to stay away from there, obviously. And then this is the library. Spent not so much time in there.
And like this.
Wait, come right here. This is something I've always wanted to do, but I never had a girlfriend to do it.
Oh yeah, self-burn. Now to finish off the high school tour, Joe has one last surprise for Michelle.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Is this prom?
Michelle is finally getting to go to prom. Remember that poem she recited back in episode 3?
I was never the girl invited to cute dates at the apple orchard in the fall. I was the girl picked last for prom, but the first for basketball.
Well, Rodney and Joe were listening, and now here we are. Joe and Michelle hit up their prom with photos, bubbles, dancing, and of course the crowning of prom king and queen, which went to Joe and Michelle after a tight race between them and the camera guy. Now, all of this puts Michelle on cloud 9 for her meeting with Joe's parents, Julie and David, and his brother Dan, and sister-in-law Hannah. And as they all meet, Michelle expresses just how amazing it's been to see Joe go from quiet confidence to being more open with his emotions. And if you're wondering where Joe gets his quietness from, I'll give you one clue.
I already got some questions.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, as the rest of the family starts to see how Joe is opening up more while around Michelle, the idea of the two of them being together becomes more of a reality.
I love that she lives close to us. That's convenient.
That is nice.
I hope this works out, because we will see her in the grocery store.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Michelle gets the stamp of approval from Julie and Hannah, and the quiet nod of approval from David and Dan. And as the night comes to an end, Joe shows Michelle, once again, how he's not afraid of expressing his feelings.
My feelings for you are getting stronger and stronger, and that I am falling in love with you, and I feel like you're that special person for me.
So that's 3 pretty clean and drama-free hometowns, which only makes me extremely nervous for the last one with Nayte, cause there's usually at least one hometown that kinda blows up. I guess we'll see, but before Michelle meets Nayte's family, he's going to take Michelle paddleboarding, something he apparently does 3 to 4 times a week back home. So, Nayte busts out the only pair of swim trunks he owns.
You brought back the orange.
Hey, you said you liked me.
The orange swim trunks, huh?
Yeah, the bright lights.
And the two then enjoy the water and park themselves for a picnic, where they get to smoochin', and this creep watches the whole time. With that, it's now time to meet Nayte's mom Leanna and stepdad Charles. Which is a big deal as Nayte has never introduced someone he's dated to his folks, but I'm more weirded out knowing him as Nayte and then hearing his mom and dad say this all night.
Nathaniel.
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 So the four sit down and talk about the first night. And you know Nayte's mom is a fan of the show because she understands how important these two statements are.
Nayte was actually the first one out of the limo.
First.
Ghetto? Really?
He did get the first impression rose.
I got the first impression.
Yes.
After that, you know the drill. Everyone splits off into solo chats where, naturally, the big topic of the night is how ready Nathaniel may or may not be to get engaged.
My worry is he's gotten kind of swept up in the process. It's a very different world when you're dealing with the everyday struggles that every couple has to deal with.
And pretty much everyone agrees Nathaniel isn't there yet. Even Nathaniel, as his mom asks him if he'd propose if he got to the end, and Nayte says this.
I feel like I'm heading in the direction that I'm going to want to do that. But at the same time, am I there 100% right now? No.
Now, while that's happening, Michelle is sitting down with Charles, who expresses that he doesn't think Nayte knows the difference between being in love and taking that into an engagement or marital commitment.
I don't know if he can handle this. I don't know if he's gonna get to that point. So I don't want him to emotionally hurt himself or you.
And so, this is the drama of the episode. This question over whether Nayte is ready, and is that a red flag for Michelle. But that's pretty much it. No major blowout, just some naturally concerned parents expressing their honest feelings. We even end the night on Nayte and his stepdad having a heart-to-heart.
Never doubt that I am proud of you. I don't say it a lot, I don't hug a lot, I don't do a lot of stuff a lot.
Yeah.
But never, ever, ever doubt that I love you.
And this heart-to-heart really pulls away from the potential drama of the day, because how can you not tear up and smile when this is going on and Nayte says this?
It's crazy that we never talk about stuff like this. I don't know if I've even ever told you I love you before.
Well, the night ends on this note. Nayte isn't quite there yet, but he's on the right track. However, will that risk be too much for Michelle? So the show brings in Serena and Bree to talk about hometowns and the difficult decision Michelle has ahead, and then we go right into the rose ceremony. But even though the major drama of the episode revolved around Nayte, it's both him and Brandon who get the first 2 roses, and this one comes down to either Joe or Rodney.
Joe.
And so, Rodney is the one headed home. Michelle pulls him aside to tell him how hard it was to send him home, and that she doesn't want him to think he's not enough just because he's going home now.
I know that we've had conversations about you being an underdog or feeling like you're an underdog. And I need you to know that, like, who you are is enough.
Now, at this exact moment during the airing of the show, literally this exact moment, the Bachelor Twitter account dropped this official announcement of Clayton as the Bachelor. And take a look at the tagline. Everyone loves an underdog. I mean, come on. You couldn't have waited until after the episode or any other time than that moment with Rodney, whose thing all season was that he felt like he was always the underdog in his romantic life?
You spoke about, like, being an underdog and that, you know, you felt like you're not the tallest person in the room, you're not the best looking person in the room, which I could disagree.
Come on. But with that, we are now down to our final 3. Bachelorette returns to Monday for the tell-all next week, so mark your calendars, and as the episode closes out, we get our first look into Clayton's season, a preview that we're gonna go over tomorrow. So that's it for this recap of Week 7, Hometowns Week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you did. Again, next episode is going to be back to Monday, so don't forget that, and until next video, Bachelor Fantake, out.
Yep.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.